And everyone, Ngozi Talk Shows family is Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. Today, our topic is how to give yourself full permission to be all of you. In this video today, we are going to teach you how to give yourself full permission to be all of you. This is very, very important step in learning to trust yourself and love yourself. Each of us, we have super traits that makes us special and unique. If you don't allow yourself to be yourself, then you won't be able to fully enjoy your life and pursue your goals. We also going to help you understand how to turn your super traits on yourself so you can finally learn how to trust yourself and love yourself. It's a journey, but that comes with practice and patience. You will finally be able to feel fully satisfied and happy in your own skin. Claudia, you chose this topic. Could you please explain to your audience why did you choose this topic and what was in your mind? We want to hear the story behind.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about something, and then this is a topic where we all can benefit from, and I'm sure as well that everyone has been at some point in his life or their life as well in this situation, just like as well to understand what actually we have been doing in the past in regards to trying to fit in and to please people as well and to ask people as well for permission. And obviously we did this as we were younger, as children. We had to ask permission, the parents, and as well in school and other older people. And then what we tend to as well, we grow up. I mean, I was still as well this person, I had to ask still for permission. So it wasn't then the parents, it was the boss at work and so on. So it's just like we keep doing all these things to get the permission and the response outside, rather than actually saying, stop, this is me. It's time as well that I change a few things. And as you said as well earlier, Nomsa, absolutely, because we are able to enjoy life more when we realize that we can do the shift and to focus as well inside of us and to be ourselves. And what happens as well, then we become more comfortable as well in our own skin, and we start to trust ourselves more. And because of this, we can listen better as well. Then we have like ideas or solutions to some situations in our life, and all this comes with practice, obviously, as well. But like it's just like a starting point somewhere, just to realize, okay, yeah, it's time to be myself. Carol, what's your experience with this? Your personal experience?
I hear what you're saying about this asking permission of an authority figure, whether it's your parents or your teachers, but then constantly seeing other people as more of an authority figure than yourself. I think that's what then happens, is that you feel you have to ask permission from other people all the time. And so therefore it is recognizing that, and recognizing that you have authority yourself to give yourself permission. And there is actually a really powerful exercise that we did with Brandon Bayes many years ago, whereby we were actually asked somebody, we were in pairs, and somebody say you wanted permission from a certain figure, then that other person would be that figure. So whether it's your father and mother or someone else, and you would be asking for permission, and they would give you permission. And that in itself was a really powerful exercise, because I think it helped me to open up into being asked, asking for permission but also asking for forgiveness. I think that was the in there, woven into that activity as well. But to actually give yourself permission is a completely different experience. And I think our resistance to it is actually rooted in self-belief and gets knocked around a bit by any self-doubts. So therefore we look outward to other people. Mm-hmm. So it's recognizing what those self-beliefs are. Do we believe that we are an authority in our own life? Do we believe that we are someone that can give ourselves permission? Look to where did that belief arise from, that maybe we couldn't or weren't allowed to? Or is there an inner child who's still running the show because something happened that had quite an impact on her, where she's still running? Well, you've got to ask permission. You have to ask permission, you know. And so that comes to the fore every time. And it's working with that inner child to let her know, well, actually, no, you do not need to know. Keep asking for permission. So it's a lot of things there around that. But it's interesting because when I saw this topic, it's like, oh gosh, yes. I was brought up to ask permission of my parents to do things. But I also instilled in my own children about asking permission to, if they wanted something out the fridge, or if they want, you know, it's like, well, did you ask permission? And I do the same with my grandchildren. It's like, have you asked permission? They just go and help themselves out in the fridge. Well, hang on, is that okay? And I think it's actually, rather than asking permission, it's rephrasing it into, well, asking if it's not so much permission, but making sure that whatever they're wanting to take out of the fridge hasn't been earmarked for something else. Because sometimes something can be taken out the fridge and it's like, oh, but I was going to use that for dinner today. You know, that had already been earmarked. So it's coming down to a conversation. So I think maybe reframing things rather than asking permission, it's checking in with, does that work for the other person? You know, but you give yourself permission to have that conversation. You give yourself permission to do what it is that you want to do. So yes, but it doesn't always come easy, does it? It sort of doesn't sit quite right. So I think it's being able to explore how can we make that sit right for us is a really great topic to explore. And I found a beautiful quote by Nedra Tawwab. Permission says that you are open to the possibility of positive things happening. Without permission, there is no growth. So I think it's something about, for me, giving yourself permission to grow and to learn. I think that comes into this as well. So permission is quite a key, distinction here, and how to use it best for you. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Nomsa? You got anything to add, or Claudia, do you want to add in here?
I'm loving the topic. Give yourself permission to go all in with for yourself. I think Carol Ann and Claudia, you actually went into the topic, and I think it is very, very important, like what you guys are saying, that accepting yourself and embracing all of aspects of your personality, and is very, very, very important, because if you don't, who's going to do it for you? So that's why so many people they struggle in life, because they don't go all in for themselves. They expect other people to affirm who they are, to affirm their personality, to affirm their image, to everything. But as an individual person, you've got to understand that being kind to yourself and having compassion towards yourself is very, very important. And also understand that wherever you are, wherever you go, there will be people that are going to criticize you. But what if people criticize and then you yourself and criticize yourself? So you got to let go of self-criticism and stop comparing yourself to other people, to others. Focus on your uniqueness, unique qualities and strength. We intend to criticize ourselves when we, like Carol Anne, you did confess once here at Nkosi Talk Shows, when you were arranging your retreat, that you were actually watching other people's work, and then you were like, am I really going to do this landing page? Is it going to be perfect? Or until you realize that you were actually comparing. But when you decided that you're going to do your work, you started enjoying it. And I think it's very, very important for anyone that is watching to practice the self-care and take care of your physical well-being as well. Just before we came on, and Claudia was saying she goes to the office, she cycles, she doesn't drive, which is the time for her to do exercises and taking care of physical well-being and your emotions as well. When you do that, you're working on your emotions and your mental well-being as well. And that helps you to be fulfilled within and to be happy and fulfilled. And also set boundaries. Have you set boundaries in your life, Carol Anne and Claudia?
Still learning as well. Still, yes and no, yeah.
Yeah, set boundaries, respect your values, and prioritize to say no to other things that don't align with your values and your beliefs. And also surround yourself with positive people, seek relationship that support you and lift you and help you to become who you are meant to become. Some people, they seem to think that they just have to make everybody happy, but unfortunately, you can't. The creator of this earth himself, he said his commandment. He says, if you want to follow me, here are my 10 commandments. Take it or leave it. So you have to set your own boundaries and based on who you want to become, and also without comparing your life to somebody else. Over to you, Claudia.
Absolutely, comparison as well. Something, is another topic as well. Just like to reflect on this as well. So where are we comparing ourselves with someone else? You know, like, is it the business owner or the mother part as well in us, or the wife as well? It's just like, where in your life are you comparing yourself with someone else? And yes, as well as to understand that comparison is the theft of joy, and you can't compare people, because it's like if you were comparing apple to oranges and so on. Just like to understand this, it's just not possible, because we are all different, and we all have as well, even if someone else's life seems a bit more immaculate than yours right now. It's just like, still, we don't know their journey and their learnings, what they have to go through in regards to get the learnings as well. They are supposed to have an experiences. So we have to understand this, and as well that we are all unique. The universe created us in our own unique way, and there is no one else exactly the same like you. And to realize this actually as well, wow, you know, it's just like really one of us, one of a kind. And people as well want you to be yourself and to give yourself permission as well to be yourself, because when you do this, then they can really see truly who you are and accept you and open up to you and trust you, and to get this, how do you say, not the vulnerability, the transparency. Okay, people can feel it. If you're really truly you and you accept as well who you are, people outside can feel it if you are yourself or just putting a mask on and so on, which, I mean, I did it in the past, just didn't feel right. It was actually quite stressful pretending I am someone else that I'm not. So luckily as well, I realized this, and I can, I give myself as well, I am who I am. And the thing is as well, to accept ourselves as well with the flaws we have. And we all have flaws. And actually as well, when we look at them, they're quite beautiful and adorable, because when I look at someone else's flaws, I quite find them, I don't know, charming, enchanting as well. So I take it then back as well onto me, that others find my flaws as well the same I find their flaws. So yeah, it took me some time understanding how this works, but it's like an integration more and more, that I understand as well it's okay to be myself, and realizing as well you get a good response out there, because this way you attract truly as well your tribe of people with whom you really match. Because again, if you don't do this, if you only have the mask or the facade on, you attract other people, and you don't really, especially as you get older, you don't really want to spend time or to hang out with them. You don't have so much in common. You don't enjoy the conversations as well, because it's not who you truly are, and you don't show it as well to them. So it's just not possible as well for you to attract your tribe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you're not giving out that energy that welcomes them. If you've put on a mask, then all you're going to attract are other people who have got masks. Because you're saying, it's okay not to really know me. So therefore it's okay not for me to not know you. And so therefore you're not going to attract people that are willing to open up and be themselves fully, and go and dive in there and be vulnerable, be open, be transparent. And that is key. But the thing is, you do need to know yourself first of all. And it's the same with setting boundaries. You need to know what it is you will and won't accept. What is a boundary for you? For me, that word didn't mean anything for a long time. I used to hear it being bandied around, and it's like, I don't know, what do you mean? Again, it's all my work that I've been doing around words. The fact that words very often don't mean anything to me. I find it really hard to understand them. It's like they're completely flat. They're dead. They're lifeless. Whereas numbers, they just sort of move around. They cooperate. They sing to me. They speak to me. Whereas words don't. They're very often, there's nothing there. So I've started enjoying more that exploration of what does this word mean. I look up synonyms, which are similar words to that word. I look up the antonym, which is the opposite, which gives me a really big flavor for that word. And I start to go, oh, that's what it means. And then I started to understand what boundaries meant, and started to think, well, actually, okay, so what is it I will or won't tolerate? There's a word I understood that then started to help me understand what a boundary meant. So until you know yourself, until you know what it is that you will or won't tolerate or put up with, can you then start setting those boundaries? But it's also giving yourself permission to set those boundaries, to stand up for what it is that works for you or doesn't work for you, to be able to speak out. And it's not so much of a case of finding your voice, it's giving yourself permission to use it, to speak out. You know, okay, if you think you need to find your voice, give yourself permission to find your voice. But ultimately, give yourself permission to use your voice, to express what is there to be said. And for you to be a stand for, well, no, this doesn't work for me. But finding a way of doing it in such a way that there's a power there. You're not telling the other person off. You're not like wagging a finger and saying, don't do this. You're saying, this doesn't work for me. Could you please stop shouting? Could you please speak to me in a softer voice, in a different way? You know, it's just sharing what is there for you, or saying what you've just said. I'm feeling, you know, it really impacted me. And then going from there. But it's not a case of, you hurt me, you made me angry, you made me do this. It's understanding the language that can then say, well, look, this is the impact it had on me. And I request that you perhaps talk a bit quiet, softer, or you understand the impact that how you said that had on me. You know, and that's what setting a boundary is. But it's being open to learn the language. It's being open and willing to use the language, and to be a stand, to actually say, no, this is my boundary. And sometimes you just have to be that firm and have that firmness. Give yourself permission to be firm and say, no, enough's enough. And add that little edge to your voice. It's okay. Because maybe you've been told off. Don't speak to me in that tone. You know, have you heard that as a child? Well, what's wrong with using that tone? You know, and again, it's if you're speaking to a child and saying that to them, don't speak to me like that, or don't speak to me in that tone. Explain. What is it about the way they've spoken that doesn't work for you? Because otherwise they're left with that. Oh, I'm not allowed to speak like that. Well, what do they mean? Speak like what? Because very often you don't understand how it is you've spoken, what tone you've used that person is talking about. So again, it comes down to having a conversation, really helping someone to understand what didn't work for you. And children are just the same. Speaking with them, sharing with them, helping them to understand what is it that's not working. So certainly there's a whole lot there around knowing yourself, about language, and being a stand for yourself, and yeah, certainly creating them, knowing the boundaries, creating them, and being a firm stand for it. This thing about comparing, I've said it before, I love that. There's a phrase that comes to mind. Yes, you compare yourself to other people. There's a beautiful phrase, compare to despair. Because it's like, you know, you're looking at other people. What you could do is just have a look at what they're doing and think, oh, okay, that's interesting. Because I know I was watching somebody just recently. They've done a writing challenge, and it's completely different setup to my own writing challenge that I run. But I'm looking at theirs and I'm comparing myself, and I can feel that inner despair going, oh, it's not as good. It's completely different the way I do it, you know. But I can learn from what they've done. There's things I can do that would help me grow and improve my own. You know, and that's how you can then use it, rather than putting yourself down. So it's giving yourself permission to make that comparison in a way that helps you to learn and grow, rather than compare and go, oh, I'm no good. Oh, it's different. I do mine this way, they do this that way. But actually, well, that's a nice little thing that they did there. I'd like to take that on board. So there's a lot of, we can do here. And there was something just recently that I discovered when I was doing some inner work around finding my voice, but writing a chapter for a book that a multi-author book that's being put together. And what I realized was that I've been told not to contradict. Don't you contradict me. You know, don't argue with me. And it's like, wow, I'd grown up with that. And even with my ex-husband, he used to do the same. Don't argue with me. And I'm thinking, but I'm not arguing. I'm having a conversation. And so I realized that a lot of what I've been holding back is because of that, because I haven't wanted to contradict. I haven't wanted to disagree. And so I've been holding back. Once I release that, transform that, it's like I feel, that's okay. I can contradict someone. And I literally went and answered a comment on a post and went, I disagree with you. So I've been holding back on it. I think, well, I can't do that, but I did. I disagree with you, and then gave my slant on it. This is how I think about it. It doesn't mean I think you're wrong. It just meant that I disagree, and it's okay to disagree. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was like, so that's a form of boundary, isn't it? You're standing up for yourself. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing what is locked in, all those little phrases you hear as a child. Yeah. Is there anything that's coming you can think of, Claudia, or Nomsa? Mm-hmm. The little phrases that are there in the background that
I think you're making a great point, Carol Ann. It's very, very important to remember that these expectations about the language that you mentioned are constructed or created by our society, but they don't define who we are. We intend to speak the language, like being scared, like when you say, speak up for yourself, find your own voice. When we go to people, we are like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to be myself because I'm trying to fit in. I like these people, so I'm just not gonna be myself. But being yourself, it doesn't mean that you can't speak your own mind. There are some people that speak their own mind to hurt people, but it's all about your intentions. If your intentions are, this is who I am, and when you speak up for yourself, when you speak your mind and speak your own language, you help yourself to break free from these expectations from our society, and you become your own authentic self. Because in that moment, when you speak, I used to, when I go to my friends, I used to go like, I wouldn't say anything. I would just go along with their conversation. Or like when we go out dressing up, I would just dress thinking that I'm doing the right thing, just try and dress up to fit in with everybody else, until I realized that actually, this is not me. I'm not going to dress up like everybody else. I like my high heels. I like my long dresses when I go out. I like party look elegant. I like to look good, but but before I would just go out and just make sure my boob is out because I thought it was sexy at the time. I don't laugh, Carol. I thought that's when I'm going to get the guy. So the guy that I'm going to spend the rest of my life is just going to see my big boobies and is just going to say, honey, I like you and here's my number. But I didn't know that when I do that, I'm attracting the wrong guys. And also until I actually change my mindset that I'm just going to be me. And the nomsa that is me, it means I go out, I take time to prepare what I'm going to wear. That dress, it has a voice, it speaks. Or whatever I'm doing, like speak my mind and just be happy. Instead of being scared of whatever, even if we talk. And I find that when you're authentic, you get to connect with people properly because they like you. They get to connect with the real you, and they want, the more you speak, the more of you, because you're not speaking in a place where you're judging or anything. You're just coming into that place of loving and caring. So I actually agree with you, Carol Ann, that we need to be ourselves. We need to understand who we are. Just go all in by I think I did mention this last week, that when I went to Grant Cardone, I didn't understand. Sometimes I always watch the guy having lots of money on the table. So I was like, why does he always have lots of money? So then until he explained that the reason why I have all this money on the table is because business owners, like people who are starting into business, getting into business, they want to have money, they want to make money, but they don't want to talk about it. They don't want the pricing. They feel guilty when it comes to pricing for their service. They feel guilty and they don't want to talk about it. So he asked us like to put something to do with money, talking about being rich on Twitter. I did it. Some thousands and thousands of people. I think he had about maybe 60,000 online, or people, only 20,000 tweeted the Twitter. And then after he asked questions, why didn't you do it? And some people went, it sounds cocky. It doesn't feel right inside when you're putting that, it doesn't feel right. And he said, welcome to the world of wealthy. If you want to be wealthy, you've got to talk about it. When you meet your clients, you've got to believe how much are you worth, how much this service, that, like, how good are you? Are you worth it, talking about that service? Would you like charge your clients with pleasure and say my service costs £500? Would you speak that out loud with the words that with conviction? Or would you be like, feel guilty before you say it out loud? So it was like, the reason why I have the money always when I'm doing my life is to teach people that it is okay to talk about it. It's okay to have it and give it all, because that money that he has, he ends up giving it all to people anyway. So that's when I was like, okay, so I need to go all in. And I need to talk about my service. And the other thing that he was talking about it, when you go all in for yourself, for your business, is make sure you talk about your business wherever you go. It was like the world of advertising, it disappears. So he put that tweet, it was viral he was number one for about 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, five other people took over and he was down, he was at the bottom. And it was like, that is the power of going all in and talk about your service, and just without having that fear, because we get told so many things, conditions, that we can't do this, we can't do this. And now I see when I go to like family dinners, like family, when we are having family dinners, when we are having a conversation, because my mindset is not in a place where I'm coming into a judging place. When I speak my mind of the things, or somebody asked me a questions like, what did you get? Like there were times where we were asking, what did you get about Christmas present and stuff? So I mentioned that, me, I don't celebrate Christmas, but my children know that they don't buy me Christmas present. So before I actually finished the conversation, and someone was like, got angry with, why don't you celebrate Christmas? I was like, no, listen, I don't celebrate Christmas anymore because of it's gone commercial. So I don't understand what it's all about anymore. So I've decided to move away from it. But every time, like in January sales, we always give ourselves money, like children, they get money or we get money. You go and buy whatever you want. You say the price of the money that you want, and then you can go. But with the children, children do celebrate Christmas. They do go all in, and we make sure they go all in. Their father is crazy about Christmas, but I'm not. And so I support them all the way, but that is my own opinion. So I find when I'm actually talking about it to people and expressing how I feel about it, people get really upset. But it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter because I support you with that Christmas, and me is just the decision that I've made. So what do you think about it, Carol Ann? Will you go mad if I say no? I'm not into Christmas.
Why would I say no? I think it's perfectly reasonable. Say no to Christmas. And it's not actually you're saying no to Christmas, you're saying no to all the trappings.
Yeah, the dropping that I don't understand, yes. Honestly.
No, that's right. So, I get what you're saying and what you're actually doing in terms of the celebration or how it's a loving. For me, it's a time where you can experience love. You can experience miracles. That's what I always. There's a miracle around Christmas time, and I think that's where people miss out when they go into this. That they get depressed, or maybe they are on their own. There's a lot of people on their own. And it's giving yourself permission to either enjoy that moment of being on your own, or give yourself permission to reach out and ask for someone to join you, or can you join them, or find somewhere else that you could go for that time. Look for the miracle that is there to be had in Christmas. Put up a prayer and ask for, can you show me this miracle, please? Let me experience this miracle. And all a miracle is something that seems impossible to happen, actually happens. That's all a miracle is. It's not something huge, big, or, it can be something really small that you really believed was not possible. Something happens in a moment, and what you thought wouldn't happen happens. It takes place. Something that you wanted, it manifests. So it's being open to the miracle of Christmas, the love that's there, and being able to make it special for yourself in your own way. But yeah, without all of the I can't think of the word now.
Without getting into debt.
Yes.
Yeah, the commercial.
Commercial. That's the word.
Commercial, yeah.
And not getting into debt, not feeling guilty because you can't spend as much on presents as you used to. That was something I had to get over when I literally went into that place of having no money whatsoever. And I was like, I couldn't buy any Christmas presents. And I had to get over it. I had to let it go. And that's when I started realizing how much I used to spend on Christmas. And I'd lost the true meaning of it, of what it was about. It's that giving and receiving. But just giving love, being present with somebody is sufficient. Just giving somebody your time is sufficient. That's a present in itself, that it may not be there all the time. So give yourself permission to be with that Christmas time, that period, in whatever way works for you. So certainly no, and I wouldn't say no to you. What about you, Claudia?
Claudia and Carol Ann, you have someone from YouTube. Hi, Bono. He's saying, hi, I'm from Philippines. That's how he's spelled, Philippines. He's from Philippines, I think, but I think it's spelled, yes. How you doing? Bono. Actually, can you put your name? How it? What's the meaning of it? You too, Bono. Beautiful name.
Nice.
Yeah,
Must be
yeah.
like late afternoon now there.
Is it?
I think evening. I think even evening, right? Philippines must be 6-7 hours ahead of us. I think it's evening
If not
time now,
more.
yeah?
Yeah.
In the Philippines.
Okay. Anyway, guys, those who are watching, we love to hear your opinions about giving yourself permission to be all of you. So, and going all in for yourself.
Yeah.
So we love to hear how you guys been able to do it, how
Yeah.
you've been able to manage expectations from people. Feel
Mhm.
free to actually type YouTube, guys, and Ngozi Talk Shows family, and LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Please feel free to let us know how you give yourself permission. Over to you, Claudia.
Yeah, absolutely. Share with us, because we all do it in a different way. And it's always good as well to read about others and how they do it. And something as well in regards to give yourself a permission is getting to know yourself. And this has been already mentioned today. And this is how I was able to learn it. I was a flight attendant for many, many years. And on several trips down route, I didn't have like company around, because some of the other girls wanted to sleep longer. They had a different routine, or they wanted just to do other things than what I wanted. So I ended up spending many days down route by myself. So this is as well a way to get to know yourself, just like spend time with you and see what it is you want to be doing, and just like get to know you, so that you can as well like see who you are. And especially as well as we get older, I have found as well the wish is just like more dominantly as well inside of us, actually as well, to see who am I and what is it actually I'm interested in, because it's where we change down the line as well. And for me, I had to fire myself from people pleasing as well. I've been I suppose as well, like many of us, a people pleaser for so long in my life. I think even still like the late 30s, I think. And as well, like people pleasing and partners as well, I have to say so, yes. So I had to fire myself from this job. And again, now is as well like similar to the boundaries, I can say as well what it is I feel like doing about a situation. If someone asks me, do you want to do me a favor and so on, I don't always say yes the first instance. So just like as well, because in the past I did it because I want to be liked, just like, don't we want to be liked and fit in and all these things, which we do like in the first part of our lives. But luckily I realized as well, I can still fit in and I can still be liked and and be myself as well at the same time. Oh yes, absolutely. This is a great realization, that you can have all the things where you had like distorted ideas or programs around it, and therefore you came into people pleasing and not having boundaries and low self-worth and low self-esteem. But actually, when you start to do your inner work, you get to have it all, to realize as well that you can be confident and have a good self-esteem, be true to yourself, and still be liked and have a place, and people still come and invite you. So it's just absolutely good realization, right, Carol Ann?
Yes,
That you can actually you can have it
Yes.
all. Yeah.
You can have it all.
Yeah.
And I think it's recognizing what part of you
Mhm.
is going, or perhaps it's that quote that what you used to hear as a child. You can't have your cake and eat it. Yes.
Yes.
And it may be said in jest, but people don't realize the power of words. And okay, you can't have your cake and eat it. Well, actually, yes, you can. And it's recognizing that, and it's declaring that it is such. So certainly look at the words that have been spoken over you, to you, your own, you know, if it's still in there with you, where are you saying it to others? Because you're reinforcing that belief. And then just forgive yourself and just say, it's okay. Actually, I can have my cake and eat it. And I forgive you for saying otherwise. It was a phrase, it was just a joke, you know, it's okay. We can laugh at it now and let it go. And then just say, I give myself permission to have my cake and eat it. So that that part of you that still wants permission goes, oh, okay, then. You know, it's just playing around with it, it's working with it. And so that you can be all of you. You can have what you want. And it is about creating those big dreams. Because who knows what's possible? Miracles do happen. And actually, there's a quote here by Danica Patrick. Give yourself permission to shoot for something that seems totally beyond your grasp. You may be surprised at your capabilities. And I think hearing that again, that quote, is helping me to realize again why I'm being pushed and pulled towards writing and to writing a book and to helping others with their writing. Because there's still a part of me that's going, oh, why this, Lord, you know, and questioning it. But I keep coming back to there's something beyond that. When I have that breakthrough, that actually is something I hadn't even dreamed of. So it is, you know, you'd be surprised at your capabilities. So go for something big, that even if you think it's beyond you, go for it, because you don't know what will happen along the way. And if you've got those people that are going, oh, I don't know about that, that's, you know, that's beyond you, just turn around and say, well, thank you. I understand that's what you think. And I don't think that. I believe that I can go for it. And I will find out if it's beyond me or not. But I'd like to have a go. And I give myself permission to actually have a go. Because there's something to learn along the way. And you might not get there. You might find yourself going off in another direction with something even bigger, you know, and going, oh my goodness. Because that you're shooting for now is just part of your journey. And then something might show up and you go, oh, actually, I need to go this way. Who knows? And it's giving yourself permission to go off at a tangent if you need to, if something shows up. But it's letting yourself just dream big. Go beyond what you think is possible. Because there's a quote that keeps coming into my head by a guy called Steve Bow. I'm not sure if I can remember the words exactly, but I think it's God's gift to you is more, I think the word is abilities, than you could use in this lifetime. Your gift to God is to access as many of these abilities in your lifetime as you can. So we've got more ability than we actually know that we've got or believe that we've got. And that's a quote that keeps me going. I forget it for a long time and then it nudges me again. Because God's gift to us is more than we could possibly utilize in a lifetime. So shoot for the stars, you know, shoot big. And as something that I think it was Nomsa said in the beginning about turn your super traits into something that works for you. So, for example, are you somebody that is always putting other people first? How about putting yourself first? You know, recognize what are your super traits, acknowledge them, and go, great, that's a great super trait. Let me use it for myself. Turn it around. Use it for you. Give yourself permission to do that. You know, are you somebody, and it's something that resonates with me, you're someone that makes things work for other people. It's like, yeah, I can help you, and you help others to succeed, but somehow you can't quite do it for yourself. Things aren't quite working. Well, give yourself permission to make it work for you. Give yourself permission to help yourself to succeed. Why shouldn't you? Because it's about being all of you. And recognize where perhaps a part of you is going, oh, that's a bit scary. All of me? That just feels a little bit too much. Give yourself to feel that emotion and acknowledge, oh, gosh, this is scary. It's okay. Feel what you're feeling. Be with those feelings. And then ask yourself the question, well, I wonder what it might be like if I did allow myself to be all of this, be all of me. Get curious. So shift who you're being around it. Be curious, be open to possibility, but acknowledge, the emotions and the thoughts that come up and the feelings. Give yourself permission to feel them rather than making it wrong and rather than shutting yourself down. It's about just going, oh, wow. Oh, yes, this is a bit scary. But I wonder what it might actually be like, because it's in your head and it's a fear that shows up, that's all, that it could be too big. And you remember what? Fear, I think we've said it before, you might have heard it. Fear is an acronym. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Give yourself to shoot that one out the water. Yeah. And acknowledge it's false evidence. That's all. Because you haven't actually given yourself permission to be all of you. So you're not being all of you. So until you're actually there, you've got actually no idea what it could be like. So give yourself permission to find out. So I think I give myself permission to find out. I can feel something shifting as I'm saying it. You agree, acknowledging, I can see that, Claudia, yeah. Does that resonate?
Words are powerful, yeah? And the ways where we talk to ourselves, yeah? Just like, what type of conversations do we have as well with ourselves? Like, oh, I can't do it, it's too much for me, it's too big, I will never be there, and so on. Absolutely. So yeah, good point. Yeah. Self-talk. Positive self-talk. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Nomsa?
I love that. That's very, very powerful. The words that we speak to ourselves, they determine where we will be tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. So it's very, very important to not to talk ourselves out of our blessings and miracles. We just need to talk ourselves into the miracle, and also avoid that inner critics that tells us that we are not enough, and give ourselves permission to become who we want to become, because whatever you do in life, there's going to be that voice that tells you that no, you can't do it. So if you know that, or you are not good enough, but if you know and you believe in yourself, which is it's a skill that you have to, it's a habit that you have to work on it. Some people struggle in believing in themselves, but if you work on it, it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you have. If you get into psychology, I start reading like psychology books and go on YouTube, start watching psychology videos, motivational videos, and also you can watch Nkosi Talk Shows videos. And it's like a step by step. You grow each and every single day when you actually want to get into that place where you give yourself permission to be all of you, because we tend to be scared of our families. When we change, we're actually not changing. No one is born behaving like somebody else. We are born being us, but then we decide to walk away from who we could become, or maybe walk away from who we are, and then we start picking up this bad habit from people, trying to fit in. And somebody like you enter a relationship because you want to be loved. You believe that that man is gonna love you, or the woman is gonna love you when you do whatever you want. I don't know what goes into people's head, and then we walk away from who we are. But when you decide to go back, find yourself, and that person will be, there's a video, this guy that, what's his name? He says, I find what I've been looking for. Like when language, like what Kero Anne is speaking, when somebody speaks, you tell them, you're so good, you are amazing, you are this, even if they talk rubbish anyway. and then he says one day he found what he's been looking for. And I watched that video. Actually, it helped me. I laughed when I watched it. Now, when I go to church, when I hear the pastor speak, like preach, I have to go back to the Bible and reference everything, what has been said. Is this or this? Is this, does this matches what God says? Then we are good to go. Or when I go to church, I don't go there trying to fit in with anybody else. I go there to pray, and then at the same time, I love people, and then I go home. And when I go for business, I don't go there for people to like me. I go there to learn and connect with people. But if somebody, my values don't align with some people, I don't try to fit in, because trying to fit in is holding yourself back. There are some people, not everyone that is into business, they are saying positive things and they want to go all in. No, some people, they're just doing it because it feels comfortable to be self-employed, and they're comfortable making maybe £1,000 a month, or £2,000 a month, or £10,000 a month. They're comfortable. When you start talking about your dreams, they're like, oh, that's greedy. Money is evil. You love money. So you just have to, you just learn to find that voice within. And also God loves you to express. Like myself, I have a billionaire mindset group. That means it tells God, this is who I want to become one day. That group, it tells him that as a human being, I would like to work really hard. God, help me to become a billionaire. And then I have Nkosi Talk Shows group, Nkosi Talk Shows. Then I'm in a millionaire mindset group. So that it tells God that, God, before I become a billionaire, make me a millionaire. So I've put myself out there, and I'm not afraid to actually become that. And I'm just going all in. And even when I pray to God, my language, it says as it is. If I feel lost, I just say, help me with my reasoning. I just say as it is, my reasoning. Is there anything in my life that I need to improve? Is there any hidden secret about my genius? Show it to me. Am I a genius in some way? Anything? I just say things as it is, because this is who I believe that I could go above and beyond that I think I am, and to create things and to help people in my community and to save. And for me, being able to serve Nkosi Talk Shows, the audience, I need to think big, but it is going to go step by step. I need to understand that God cannot do a miracle and then I become a billionaire. I'm going to go step by step. And also becoming that, it requires reading. It requires 4 hours sleep. I just sleep 4 hours or 5 hours. That's my take, that I've decided that if I sleep for 5 hours, that's enough for me. But some days, there are times where I'm getting up in the morning, I feel tired. I don't force myself to get up because I want to be specific, 4 hours or 5 hours. I have a lay-in. If I feel like having a lay-in, I have a lay-in maybe till 6:30 sometimes. But when I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good. Sometimes I go to bed at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. It just depends. You just have to give yourself permission and not to compare yourself with everybody else. Just work around what is working for you. And that, without any excuses, what is working? Set up the time, set up your habit, set up your goals. Where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Personality-wise, where do you want to be image-wise? Who are you? And just create that best on you. I just mentioned that before. I used to have my boopsie out thinking that I'm going to find a man, but I realized that actually what's on the inside of me is greater than what's on the outside. I can still go out and give myself dignity and still look good, still really, really look sexy and look good, as long as I'm believing it myself. So if you do that, and if you're watching somebody who wants to find their own voice, lead from within, create your own, what do we call it? Framework, and work on your mindset as well is very, very important. And get coaching. There is no way. I try to do it on my own. You have to be really, really disciplined in order for you to actually get to where you need to go on your own. It takes time anyway, researching things, get a coach. Nkosi Talk Shows, we have those coaches for you. Get in touch with us at Nkosi Talk Shows. And Carol Ann, you can get in touch with Carol Ann. Carol Ann, she's the writing facilitator, which is the foundation. She will help you with the foundation. If you want to become a writer, or if you are starting a business, it's not just writing a book. Writing is everything in business. It's actually the foundation of your business, the message that you're sending across as a business person. Those are the words that you use. So that's where she comes in, making sure that you are using the right message to your audience. And you have Claudia as well. Claudia, relationship. Actually, can you guys tell the audience, you explain it better. Claudia, could you please explain to the audience what you do and where they can find you as well, please? And Carol Ann, do the same, although I've explained it, but you can explain it better.
Absolutely. Well, I'm very good. My gift and talent is to identify the limitations as in the root cause. And usually it's something like a limiting belief very down the line, which we have picked up in our childhood and we are not even aware of it. And it still keeps running in our back of the program. And because of this, we attract certain situations and people as well in our lives. And when we find this root, change the beliefs as well into positive empowering, once then the outside life and the people and the situations are going to be as well different reality. So that's what I'm doing.
And what I do, you explained beautifully, Nomsa. And I love what you said. Writing is the foundation of your business. Writing is the foundation for a lot of things, but certainly our business. And being able to express yourself in your words is what is really important. And one of the main things that I support women in doing is actually being able to write their story, because their story is very often key to their business and actually can help their business grow in a faster way than they were thinking of in the beginning. And so I help them to find their voice, find their words from within by unlocking the writer within. And all of that has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. So, because as I say, you cannot publish what isn't written. So you have to focus on the writing, get it written. So yes, that's me. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and I do have a Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. So I believe you can be found on Facebook as well, Claudia.
Yes.
And LinkedIn. Yeah.
Facebook and LinkedIn. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, and I'd just like to leave people with one thought, our viewers, and that is, you're actually here on this planet, and I certainly believe this, that you're here on this planet in this physical body for a purpose. And if you're constantly asking for other people for permission or looking for permission for others to do something, then you're not actually going to truly be who you're meant to be. Because at what point do you stop and say, I have to give myself permission? Because constantly searching from other people, you're never going to get there. So key to this is knowing what is your purpose. So find out what's your purpose and give yourself permission to live on purpose and be all of you.
Beautiful.
Claudia, what would you like to leave?
Yes, absolutely. And for me as well, to take ownership and responsibility of our lives and to understand as well what it truly means, that this is our life and we are the creator of our life. And as well, part of it as well is that we take ownership by deciding how we would like to spend this life and what we would like to create. And as well, like responsibility is as well a big one to understand as well, that we are responsible as well, obviously too, for the actions and so on, whatever we do, say or do, to be that mature and that grown up and to take responsibility as well for our life. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claudia and Carol Ann. So I'm going to leave you guys with this quote that I found is by Hal Elrod. It says, give yourself permission to be happy. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. What matters is what's going on inside of you. Remember what I said before? What's on the inside is greater than what's on the outside. The outside is what's going on. But the inside is that beautiful thing that you have that no one can take away from you. So just get in touch with us at Ngozi Talk Shows. You can get in touch by going to my website, www.hseia. You have option to ring the office. There's a office number or my mobile number or email. You can email the office or ring the office. And if you want to connect with the coaches, or simple, if you are tired of being single, looking for love, just get in touch with me and I will work out how I can help you moving forward to bring miracles into your life. And have a good weekend, everyone. Lovely, lovely. We thank you for supporting us. And please, if you're watching us on our page or Nkosi Talk Show's YouTube channel, please subscribe to our channel. Be part of the family. God bless. Live with grace.